What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. I want to react to this video by Antoinette Media. Go follow that channel. I'm showing it right here, in the video. Go check them out. They're going to do a lot of stories covering athletes who had it all and, lost a whole lot and go back to their humble beginnings. And I seen some people saying that this story on Sebastian is cap, but there were people in the comments section saying, no, this ain't cap. In some of the reaction videos I seen, they said, this isn't cap. They're in Coney Island and they see Sebastian. He really is back, living in an apartment. And I want to give my take on that. Made over 19 million, I believe, in the NBA. Played abroad, a little bit. Obviously, he's had some things to say about his big cousin, Stephon Marbury, who's doing financially well for himself, being invited back into the New York Knicks fold as like a brand ambassador right now um, for the Knicks. But, we're going to get into this clip, and I want to show like some other things that has happened, in Sebastian. Now we know he's in prison right now with Diddy. We seen the picture come out the other day, them chopping it up. But I believe Sebastian only got like 6 months and he'll be out. Um, yeah, man, let's get right into the clip.
NYC, best point guard ever do it right here. But when I was coming up through the fire, I remember it didn't look like this. 2016, I came through with Eric Adams, Mark Trigger, the NBA, and we designed all this up. I just was doing it for the community. I was not expecting to be living in the motherfucker though. When I was in the NBA, making the money, doing what I love to do, I always thought that my life would continue to go up and I would just have a sweet retirement and be able to raise my kids. And somebody told me I was gonna end up back in the projects. I would have never believed anyone, not for 1 minute.
That statement right there is so humbling, right? Like, you living life, you making these millions, you basically can get whatever you want, stay where you want. That well cuts off. You go through several legal battles. They say he made 19 million in his career, so basically $9 to $10 million, and that's before paying your agent the 4% he gonna get. And if you splurging any or you helping any family members out, then you pay these lawyer fees after the gun case and then this Fed case, you could easily see how $9 to $10 million would evaporate.
Look, we ain't got no keys. This is how you get your mail. That's how you get your mail. You ain't got no mail? We good. Can't come in here by yourself. Gotta sign a waiver to come in 2940. I'm gonna show y'all the inside. You hear? Let's go. This is a culture shock, but I ain't gonna lie, me coming back to the projects was a gift. It was a gift and a curse, but more of a gift, tell you the truth. I really wanted to show the world exactly how I'm living. Being in the project is all a mental thing also, you know what I'm saying? But shit is definitely real. This is the kitchen right here and shit. The shit get lit at, take care of yourself. My last pantry I had in my crib was a whole room size. You know what I'm saying? But right now this is the pantry, you heard? Check out the amenities, man. Stainless steel appliances and all that. This is my office / closet room. Y'all might have seen this jersey right here. Y'all see this jersey right here? 1,000 pair off-whites and all that. Y'all already know I'm a stay fly. They're a little worn, so somebody got their ass bust with me wearing these. I don't know if y'all know, on COVID, I lost my mom, and I lost my oldest brother, and the next year, God sent me twins, girl and boy. I'm gonna go say what's up to them. They sleep though. This is my twins' playroom right here. But most important was these right here. Make sure my kids read about me. Middle of the J's with a book, a movie, my own sneakers. Shit crazy. I gave y'all the inside the hood. I showed y'all, where I'm at in Coney Island and all that. But keep it a band with y'all. Y'all good cause y'all with me. But it's a dub, man.
So much sticks out about this video. him being back where he grew up at, and you think about a lot of times these players come back to give back to the community, but he's back living in the community, right? A lot of people would look down on him. What did he do with all his money? And some people know what happened, as far as these court cases. We've seen him crying in the court and, him getting sentenced a couple times. But, um, you still living, as long as you still breathing, um, your life still has purpose, right? You may never make that type of money again. It could be a cautionary tale to people who get that money. Don't blow through it. Don't make crazy decisions while you're young because you got to live with some of the decisions you make forever. And they have, some of them have irreversible damage on them. And, financially, will he ever make the money he was making in the NBA ever again? We don't know. I think this is a good start he had through the Fire documentary that they did on him when he was in high school. I think this would be a cool continuation um, to that documentary. And by that I mean we see people glow up, right? We'll see Michael Jordan Last Dance. We'll see something like that with LeBron after his career, his documentary, Rising to the Top. But very rarely will we see a documentary where someone like Sebastian was coming up through the ranks and his path intersected with LeBron. Remember that popular game where they were playing pickup in New York, right? Sebastian brought LeBron to New York. He was running around with Jay Z. He had a lot of clout, for a 16, 17-year old. And he was going to go to Louisville, but elected to go to the NBA. That's something that was different about his story, too. A player that size going into the NBA. We seen the 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". Typically, that was a thing that a big did. Someone who had 6'10" or better size going on to the NBA. Those were the type of players that once upon a time went in. Obviously, you had LeBron James, who was 6'8" at the time, but he was otherworldly talented. But to see a player like Sebastian, a 6', 6'1" point guard, going to the NBA was something that we hadn't seen. But to see him tell his story in a way that, um, you know, these court cases, this is exactly how I lost all the money and now I'm back in the projects, I think would be a great story. And I think it would really, it'd do great. I could see him also training kids doing things like that. He should be at every NBA, what they call it, a symposium. Is that what they call it? Where they talk to the rookies. He should be at all of those events, uh, to talk to the players. But I'm a big fan of him showing this. Again, another thing that stood out in this video to me is when the children was laying in the bed. Children, if they wasn't around, for when you had all the money and stuff, they don't care. They got their playroom. I saw where he had their little playroom where they could play their games and stuff. Kids just want to have fun. All this extra stuff that we can get as far as wealth and status and all that. They don't care. They just want their daddy. They want to play. They probably want to go out there and shoot at the courts that you grew up playing on. Kids don't care. So the people that matter the most don't care. And now I remember, he was upset with Marbury about and his older brother about how that relationship with Jay Z went. I think he was a teenager. They were like, "Nah, don't be out there." And you have to remember at the time, Jay Z was that Rivera thing wasn't too far removed, and so they were looking at it like the teenager. And this wasn't. I don't even think specific to Jay Z. He just don't need to be out there in that nightlife like that. As a teenager trying to get to college at the time, and then to the NBA. So um, that's kind of where him and Stephon Marbury relationship soured, and that's why they have little issues. I do wonder what Marbury thinks about this. Um, he said his older brother actually put hands on him for it. But I say all that to say, and this ain't for LeBron or Jay-Z specifically, guys he was close with. This is just in general. Most of the relationships that you have uh, in your profession or when you're climbing up the ranks like that is transactional. They're not unconditional. So people will be around you when it makes sense for them, but the unconditional people is, that's few and far between. And I'm gonna say this: sometimes even your family, they are transactional. They can be the worst at times. So I'm not just pointing at the celebrities that he was once close with. I'm pointing to every single person, um, that may have been asking for this. Oh man, get me a car, man. Oh man, I need a couple G's, because they can't reciprocate that. They don't have no way of paying that back to you, but they're asking for it. So yeah, man. Shout out to Bessie for doing this. I think this is a good start. Um, show how you living in the projects. It's cool. It's cool, man. I'm a big fan of it. But I hate that he had to learn this lesson this way. But somebody got to do it, right? Somebody has to be the living example to show how it can go, to caution others. Without these type of stories, and they're all glamorous stories, the next person um, can potentially become the person that Sebastian is, as far as going through all these things. Like I said, he in the feds with Diddy, so he's doing time. He gets out. He's gonna be in the projects. It's man, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.